everyone listening and watching. Hi, tantric lovers. It's your girl Shakti with Shakti Living. For those of you listening on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, thank you so much. We're so happy to have you here. For those of you watching in person, live on YouTube, I'm so happy to have you as well. So tonight, we are going to talk about a subject that is, I'm just trying to get my notes pulled up here, y'all. I prematurely hit live, but we're going to go with it. We don't like premature things in this line of work, if you know what I mean. So we are going to talk about a very fun topic tonight. If you guys are new to my channel, please like and subscribe to this channel. Turn on your notifications so you know when I'm going live, so you actually get to get the first scoop at what's going on in Shakti's world. And tonight I'm looking fresh for you guys. You know, I thought normally I just hop on here, no makeup, and I just do it after the gym, but I wanted to, like, you know, it's Mother's Day tomorrow, and you know, I wanted to just really, you know, get all the energy, the Shakti energy for y'all. So my tantric lovers, I'm very excited to be with y'all. We're going to be talking about a little bit of a controversial topic tonight. So you guessed it, we're going to talk about single mothers. I saw some content and I promise you guys that I'm going to start being more fancy. I'm going to start share screening and doing all the fun stuff that all the famous YouTubers are doing. I am not a YouTuber. I am a tantric energy master. I'm a healer. I'm a Reiki master. I help men and women shake sexual shame that's in their life and experience lasting, passionate intimacy. And who doesn't want more of that? And so that's what I do. A yogi, meditation expert, breathwork expert, Reiki master, Tantra master. I'm not a YouTuber, but I'm learning. So I am going to start doing share screen and all that fun stuff for you. But tonight, I'm going to just refer to some content that I've seen out there recently on single mothers. It is Mother's Day, of course, tomorrow, as y'all know. And so I think that this is going to be a little bit juicy tonight. And I'm probably going to get some backlash for this. But when has that ever stopped me, y'all? Right? All right. So the first thing I think is interesting is that in the red pill world, if you're not familiar with the red pill world, great. That's awesome. But a lot of y'all are probably from the red pill world because that's where you might have seen me on some other people's shows. And so red pill is just a concept of how to teach men. I'm trying to paraphrase for y'all in the conscious world that maybe don't understand kind of some of the things from this genre that can be a little bit toxic, but some of it's also good. Red pill is kind of movement of men who characterize what women really mean, think, and feel. So these men experts now tell other men how to treat women and what they're doing, and when they say something, what it really means. It's basically like a personal development system for men to be more successful in life and to also be more successful in dealing with women. My lips are chapped, y'all. But now there are some great things from the red pill world. I think a lot of the concepts are quite fascinating and a little bit more old school, a little bit more conservative, a little bit more about the family dynamic, sometimes faith-based, sometimes not. If you're looking at F and those people, maybe they are faith-based. I can't be a judge. However, the concept kind of grew really popular by people like Kevin Samuels, Fresh and Fit. And now it's become a culture, or Andrew Tate, I forgot, the most famous. It has become this kind of trending topic. And there's all these YouTubers and social media people that are now creating red pill content, right? And I used to kind of be in that group. I don't consider myself a part of that group now. because I don't really fit into any category. It's kind of interesting. Do you ever find yourself like that where you kind of know a lot of people in different worlds, but you don't really consider yourself to be a part of any of those worlds? If you can relate to that, let me know in the chat, like if that's you. So for instance, I was born Mexican Moroccan, but I was adopted into a Caucasian Irish German family, blonde hair, blue eyes, fair skin. Hello, that's not me. I grew up a missionary's and pastor's daughter in Thailand. I grew up overseas, extremely poor, doing God's work, all these things. I later got into the adult world, where I was an exotic dancer in Vegas for almost a decade. You guys know, some of you guys know my story, some of you don't. If you do, oh well. If you don't, it's kind of fascinating. So I remember when I was working in the clubs in Vegas that I always felt like I was on the outside looking in, if that makes sense. Like I never really felt like I belonged to any sort of crowd. Like I didn't feel like like I didn't fit in with the white girls, the Caucasian girls, if you will. I didn't really feel like I fit in with the African American girls. Certainly didn't fit in with the Asian girls. That was like my least demographic. I didn't fit in with like the Latin women. A lot of the Latin women were like from Latin America, like barely spoke English. I didn't speak Spanish because obviously I grew up in like a Caucasian household. So I just never really felt like I fit in any kind of demo. And I feel like that today as an adult as well in my career. Like, I don't feel like I fit in with like education, scholastic, because I went back to school after I had my son. Obviously, I didn't go to, I was homeschooled most of my life. I have only I was in private school a couple years, but for the most part, I grew up in like what some might consider a religious cult. Very extreme fundamental Christian, like just ostracized from the world. So I didn't feel like I fit in that demographic either of higher education. I went back to school as a single mother. I'm in school and I'm going to school with kids who are 21, 18, 19, 20, 21. So that was very weird experience in academia world. However, your girl Shakti is a sharp one, so I excelled. I did very well. I joined speech and debate, and truthfully, that's why I'm here today. Like, I never really had the confidence to like, I always was a little bit of an extrovert because being in the exotic entertainment world, like being a dancer in Vegas, like you have to be energetic. There's 400 hot girls a night at the Spearmint Rhino, and what sets you apart from the other ones. So you had to have a personality, and that was something that I was always good at. I was good at connecting with people and making guys laugh and things like that. So I really learned how to kind of be a practical psychologist, even working in the Vegas nightlife. So academia, like, I decided I don't consider myself like that smart, but I have been all over the world and I traveled a lot. So when I was in college, I just kind of used that to understand how different cultures and different backgrounds, and because I've been exposed to everything. Remember, I grew up super religious, ended up in Vegas, ended up in a spiritual tantric community. So I went from God to sex and sex back to God and then back into academia world, right? Crazy, like just weird, like two strings for fiction. So I never really considered academia world to be a fit in. Even in the yoga community, I was kind of like an outcast, right? Because a lot of the yogis had been on the path for like decades and decades and decades. And that wasn't me. I've been a stripper for a decade. And then I got into like the yoga world. But I was just a natural at energy. I kind of picked up, like my body was naturally always flexible. I did yoga postures people had been doing their whole life and couldn't nail. I just did it like my first time. So it was naturally like in my genetics to be a yogi per se, the physical, but also the energetic, the philosophy, all that stuff really kind of hit home. So I did kind of excel in the tantra world, in the yoga world, in the holistic nutrition as a Reiki master. Like I just pick things up like fast. And I think that kind of rubs people the wrong way, especially like in my college, I got more scholarships than anyone ever in the history. It was community college, but still that's a big deal. It's just, I just kind of get in where I fit in. And I realized like the power of creating connections and intimacy because of what I did. So I knew that maybe I wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed. I didn't come from a good family, clearly. I've had a very colorful, traumatic background, adult, but I just decided, you know what, that doesn't matter. I'm going to be me. I'm going to do what I do. And that is to understand how people's patterns work, understand people's personalities, understand their backgrounds, and learn how to connect, and also to use my energy and my charisma, which I just naturally have. Did you ever wonder, think about this for a moment, did you ever wonder why there's some of the most talented people on the planet that you might hear like at a jazz bar, or you'll hear them at your church, but they never like make it into like mainstream? And then you hear people like Britney Spears, no shade on her, obviously that was my generation, met Britney in Vegas, all that stuff's cool, but maybe a lot of people might not say she's crazy talented, like she's a good performer, but is she really that great a singer? To be decided. But did you ever wonder why some people make it and others don't? Well, that's just simply magnetism and charisma. And I just happen to be blessed with that because I guess God decided, you know what? You're going to have a shitty life, but I'm going to give you some good energy. So I never really felt like I fit in with any dynamic anywhere in life. Like even with the Tony Robbins world, I always felt like I was out of place because I was like the ex-stripper, the single mom, the tantric sex master, and there's all these people that were like super successful, multi-million-dollar businesses, all these things. And I just felt like I'm just the odd person out. So I've always kind of felt that way, but I also kind of use that as my tool to get my foot in the door in many situations in life. Like, you know what? Yeah, I am, maybe I don't fit in, but that's kind of a cool thing. Most people don't have my life story or my life experience. So what I don't have in maybe education or this and that, or come from a good family or have this or that, I just realized I could use my energy and my way to communicate and connect and intimacy to get me in the doors that I wanted to be in. And so I wanted to circle back. That was kind of a long description of like not really fitting in. I feel like this whole single mom thing is kind of like just a red pill thing gone bad. Because, okay, from a logical perspective, you have to look at the facts. Yes, you do. You look at the stats, and I quote stats here and there, but I also understand that stats are just that. A lot of people aren't always honest. So sometimes people admit things and they'll say this and they don't say that. But you have to also look at what is, not just numbers, but like what is, and people and people that your friends know, and you kind of just see the trends, okay? So I just wanted to bring up this fact about single moms because they get such a bad rap, and I want to talk about it. How many of you guys feel like single moms, it's a bad rap? Be honest, you can tell me. Like, is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? Because we know, I told you guys a few episodes ago, that in the Tantra world, having a child is like, again, the cardinal sin. So here I go again, not fitting in with any of my colleagues really in the Tantra world. I make a few friends, and then a lot of people just didn't like me. They didn't like the fact that I'd had a little bit of plastic surgery. Like I'd had a rhinoplasty, I'd had implants because I was a stripper. Like, what am I supposed to do? Take them out all of a sudden? No, I'm not going under the knife unless I absolutely have to. So a lot of the yogis didn't really like me because of how I looked. But I'm like, what do you want me to do about it? I can't change anything now. I'm here to learn and study this work just like you are. I want to be a master just like you. So I, kind of just pushed my way through. Wasn't really close with a few people, but got really close to like one or two people in my training. And then I got pregnant. And as I told you guys, I got pregnant, and that was the cardinal sin in Tantra, because in Tantra, if you have a child, remember two things about Tantra and tantric men and tantric sex. I got your attention with that one, guys. Tantric men are known for two things. One, maybe three. All right, tantric men are known for three things, just rule of thumb. Number one, they are known for being able to last a long time. Who do we thank for that? Well, we thank good old Sting. If you don't know Sting, Google them because I don't feel like explaining it right now and you're too young and I don't really care at this moment. I do care, but I don't. But I want to stay on track because I'm hyper feminine and I get distracted easily and I want to stay focused and give you guys good content that you won't click off of and you'll help me get back in the algorithms, please. All right. So Sting made it very popular because he talked about how he had tantric sex with his wife, Trudy, for hours and hours and hours. And recently, Jada and Will Smith and all that debacle, the tantric sex was involved. So anytime there's like a scandal or a celebrity comes out and talks about tantric sex, people know what? That means people are having sex for a long time. So tantric men are known for having sex for a long time. They're known for being able to pleasure a woman. Obviously, if you're having sex for a long time, it gives women a longer chance for her to actually experience orgasm. The chances of her having climax are greater. And then the third thing that tantric men are known for is semen retention, separating ejac from climax. I don't know what words I can say, y'all, and I'm so tired of things getting banned. So 3 things tantric men are known for: having sex for a long time, being able to pleasure their women, and being able to master their sexual energy, separating ejac from climax. So if you are losing your ejac, which we call ojas in Tantra, that's life force for men and women. In order to take that sperm, grow a life in my body, maintain that life, push out that life, breastfeed that life, that takes what? Energy. And it's a loss of sexual energy. So then there you go. I go being the black sheep all over again. Like literally cannot escape it in any demographic of my life. And you know what? I finally just said, oh, well, I love it that I'm not like, I don't fit in anywhere, because it makes me kind of be able to like ebb and flow. In high school, I didn't really have a high school experience. So you guys tell me, in high school, there's like cliques, right? There's like the jocks, the nerds, the gamers, the skaters, the hippies, the whatever, right? And you don't really like cross over, right? And your friends you kind of stay in that friend group. Well, for me, I just kind of moved around in all these groups and always was odd man out, but I kind of used that to my advantage. So single moms have gotten this kind of black sheep mentality, and I really want to talk about that today. And you know, I like to bring 1 or 2 kind of just startling statistics that I think are curious, that there's some very powerful men that were raised by single moms. So we're going to start with probably the most notable, I just made up a word, y'all. Notary, I don't know. The word is not coming to me. So here we go again. Notorious, there we go. The most notorious single mom, man who's raised by a single mom, we're just doing men right now, was Barack Obama, all right? Another one, Kanye West. There's some other celebrities, Halle Berry, you know her, Jon Stewart. There's a few of them, Christina Aguilera, Jay-Z, hello, raised by a single mom. Does anyone listen to Jay-Z? Eva Mendes, Eddie Murphy, like all raised by single moms. Keanu Reeves used to be my favorite. The Matrix, hello. Demi Moore, classic actress. So just some amazing talent. Mariah Carey, hello, single mother. Pierce Bronson, 007, anyone? So the list goes on. Marilyn Monroe, we knew that, tragic. And the last one I'm not really going to say because, yeah, that's a bad example. But again, there's always the rule, and then there's the exception of the rule. So Bill Cosby just might be the exception. But everyone else I said up until that point was like very, you know, very much so like upstanding, you know, people. When we think of them, we think, oh yeah, this is like someone that is very respected for their work. So I just thought like, wow, there's so much stigma around single mom, almost like we're we have a scarlet letter on us, or like we have leprosy, and there's just so much bad about single mothers. And so I just started doing some homework, and I wanted to see like, okay, well, what is this, like, where is this coming from? And it's very interesting. If you know anything about, again, red pill community, they kind of say like the worst thing is to be a stepdad. Like, don't ever do that. And they give you a plethora of reasons why you shouldn't do it, why, you know, these women are going to just steal from you. They're going to, you know, all this stuff that they say. And it gets just exhausting to me. Because, you know, I do understand that it is, I'm looking for this one other article, y'all. Bear with me just a moment. I do understand that a lot of men have had some very negative experiences with single moms. I remember there was a viral clip of this woman who got mad because the current boyfriend, who I guess she had one child with, did not bring McDonald's home for all the other kids that she had, like 3 or 4 kids or whatever it was. Kind of hilarious. And kind of also not funny, right? So these kind of instances we have, I think it does offset the concept of single moms, and why would a man want to be with a tainted scarlet woman who is a single mom. So just off the get-go, I just wanted to give you two, kind of one pretty large example and or a famous example, and another kind of famous example, obviously not that as famous example, of very high-powered men, very affluent, who married single mothers, not with one child, with multiple children, okay? So the first one, and all of you guys know who this person is. Jeff Bezos, like one of the most powerful men on the planet, obviously, right? One of the wealthiest, that's for sure. Married, or is engaged to marry, I can't think of his fiance right now, but beautiful woman who had 2 or 3 kids with actually a previous husband who played in the NFL. I cannot believe Lauren Sanchez, right? So here you have one of the most powerful men on the planet. I don't care how old he is. I don't care how much money he has. He is one of the most powerful men, one of the most wealthiest men. And this man could have a pick of all the women he's ever thought he wanted to have. But who does he choose? Let's see. He chooses a single mother, a gorgeous 60, or I believe she's like late 50s, 60. I think she's in her 60s, if I'm not mistaken. Late 50s, early 60s. Oh my God, someone please quote me on this. But who had, I know, at least 2 children, I believe maybe 3, from a previous marriage. She's like 60 and he's choosing her, and she has kids. So that right there just shows you that you cannot say all single women are bad, and that a man who goes with a single mother, he's just a simp and he's this. It's like, oh, you're calling Jeff Bezos a simp. Is that what you're saying? Okay, let's just tell me that one more time. So that's a very well-known person. Another person who's really big in the YouTube and Instagram community is Wes Watson. This guy makes like $1 million a month or something crazy. I don't know. He makes so much money. He bought his wife a 50-carat diamond ring. 50 carats, okay? And she has 4 children now. 3 or 4. God, I keep getting so many kids. She has at least 3, I know. One of them is his. It's a baby, like under 2. Because I follow her page, because I don't think she's quite my age, but she's an older mom, and she has a couple kids, and she got married to Wes Watson, who's a multi-bazillionaire, and didn't think, oh, I want to go get some young 21-year-old with a fatty baddie who's never been married or has kids. No, he chose a single mother who is this hot brunette who is also, interestingly, into energy healing. That's why I followed her. She's a theta healer, and she's holistic, and she's all about like healthy attachment. Same shit I do. And he married her, who had 2 grown kids. I know for a fact, maybe 3, but 2. So, buenas noches, hi. So I just want this to please someone make this a reel and get this out there, because I am absolutely sick and tired of seeing all these guys. Some of them are married, but some of them aren't, who are talking shit on men who would go after a single woman. Okay, there is nothing wrong with single mothers. There's nothing wrong with it. First of all, here's the $1 million question, guys. If we are talking about single mothers and them being so bad and so terrible and tainting all these men, we have to talk about, I'm just making sure I'm on time here. We have to talk about the fathers. Where the F are the actual fathers of all these single moms? If we want to blame women and say, oh yeah, stay away from single moms. They are trash. They are garbage. They will take you to the cleaners. They will X, Y, and Z. I would never marry them. If a man marries a single mom or dates a single mom, he is a simp. He is not worth anything. Okay, so we're calling Jeff Bezos a simp. Let's just be clear. It's just ludicrous. I am so sick and tired of these men like Destiny who could not get a clean, like when I mean clean, like clean energy, high vibrational woman to save his life if he wanted to, because of the energy that he emits, because all he is known for is putting people down and pegging his girlfriend. Like, these men are setting the standard. These men who have blue hair, who admitted on camera that life would be better if his son had not been born. These men are setting the precedents for how other men live their lives. Men who, I call them keyboard warriors. I'm sure there's another name, but I don't really care. That's the name I know. Who live in their mom's basement or have a mediocre job, who simply live for YouTube, these guys that they aspire to be. And this is the message they're sending, that these men that would consider marrying or being with a single mom are simps, and single mothers are trash and second best. So my question is to all these men in the red pill world that have these claims: where the heck are the fathers of these single women? These single, not women, single mothers. Where are they? Somebody tell me where they are. Because last I checked, it takes 2 personas to create el niño, a baby. It takes 2. Dos. So we're putting all the blame on the women. I'm not saying that women aren't to blame sometimes. Yes, but so are men. In my work, yes, I will give it to women hard. I will tell them that they're not doing enough in the bedroom, that they're way too masculine. Thank you for saying Happy Mother's Day. I so appreciate that. You know, I will give it to them hard. That sounds funny. But I'll also do the same for men. Like, you guys are bashing single mothers. I guarantee you. Okay, I'm going to quote Tom Brady here. Tom Brady simply said the other night, you guys are giving me such a hard time because all I did is get paid $25 million to go on Netflix and get roasted because my wife, Gisele Bündchen, decided to have a little extracurricular activity with her tennis coach. And you guys are saying, how could I allow that? He said, and I'm paraphrasing here, give any single dad, any divorced father, the opportunity to do the same and get paid 25 mil, and then let's talk. So I will be using Tom Brady's methodology here and saying, I guarantee you, if any single mother who looks like me or like Laura, I can't compare myself to Lauren Sanchez. I'm just saying me as a single mother, Lauren Sanchez as a single mother, Wes, what's his name's girlfriend, Wes Watson's girlfriend. I can't think of her name. Halle Berry's a single mother. I mean, come on. If any of those single mothers came to you and said, hey, I want to give you a fair chance. Let's co-create. Let's build a family. If you want to have another child, I'm down. If you don't, cool. Doesn't matter. Let's do this. I love you. I want to be your ride or die. You cannot tell me that you would not say yes. You cannot tell me that, because most of these men that are following these red pill men and Destiny and all these red pill men are desperado for women. The only way they get to women is if they pay for women. Pay to freaking play is what it's called. These women would be happy. They would jump for joy. They would do cartwheels at the thought of a high value single woman coming to them saying, let's do this, boo. So let that be known right there, that yes, sometimes it is single mother's fault. It's the mom's fault. And yes, sometimes it's the father's fault. And most of the time, it's both of their faults. So why are we faulting single mothers for saying, oh, single mothers are raising better men? One of my colleagues, who I love dearly, and I'm going to say his name, Keith's going to hate me for this, former NFL player, Keith Mitchell, and we argue about this all the time. He's always like, well, it's single mothers who are raising black beta men. Oh, Keith is going to hate this. And I always say, okay, that might be true. That may be true. Yes, black women tend to be single mothers. Yes, true. And yes, it could be also true that they're raising single black or biracial beta men. Correct? Yeah, okay. I'll agree with you on that. Yep. But my question always is, my follow-up, because I am a speech and debate champ, I would say, if it is the single mother, you're saying it's the single mother's fault, right? These black single women, or these, they might not be black single women, but these single mothers who are raising black young men, whether biracial, black, half white, whatever. It's their fault for raising black beta men. Okay, cool. I'll hear you. Where are the black fathers? Where are they? That is the question we need to ask. Where are the black fathers? We can yell and scream at the single moms all the time, point fingers at us, say it's our fault for raising single black beta men. These beta black men are going into the world and effing things up. This is your fault. You're raising simps. You're raising sexual perverted black men, etc., etc., etc. Great. I'll give you that. But my question always is, where are the black fathers? Where are they? Why do we insist on blaming the women? The mothers who carried the child, who birthed the child, who gave the child sustenance. But we want to blame the single moms. Where, my friends, are the dads? Where the black dads? Where the white dads? I don't care what race they are. Where are they? That's my question to you. If you know this answer, please tell me. All right? And then let's not forget all the single mothers who raised these very amazing black men. And then my last argument would be, because this has gone kind of on a diatribe, would be, we talk about these single women as being tainted, as being XYZ, as being leftovers, not fit, they'll take your money, they'll use you, they'll abuse you. What if they don't do that though? Single mothers, number one, you know that they are committed. They're committed. The probability of them committing to you is actually greater than as a young single woman who doesn't even have a plant in her house. Why? Not because there's anything wrong with her. I remember my 20s. They weren't pleasant. I did the best I could. It wasn't much. Thank God I know what I know now. If only I could tell my 20-something, hot self what I know now, it would be a fine day. But I can't do that. But these young girls, they don't know anything. They're so brainwashed by TikTok and this and these. Did you know there's a whole demographics of beauty and skincare for 10-year-old girls, 8, 9, 10-year-old girls, or doing makeup tutorials, or buying, asking their mom for $50, $100 to buy cosmetics. They're my son's age. What are we doing here? So you just add 10 years to that. What are these girls doing? The same thing. Beauty, 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 beauty. I mean, I wouldn't trust, honestly, if I was a man, I'm not having a child with a girl in her 20s. No way. unless there's some like extreme exception to the rule, because emotionally they're just not mature enough. The way that the world is now, everything is, how can I be more seen? How can I be more significant? How can I look better? And that's all women know today. How I grew up, I wouldn't wish it on anyone, but what I will say I'm thankful for, I know how to sew. I know how to bake. I know how to cook. I know how to clean, like properly. I know how to play the piano. I know how to read music. I didn't really like reading music, so I learned to play by ear. I can play the guitar. I can sing harmony. I can mend a shirt. I can do crafts. I'm like Martha Stewart and a porn star body. Like, women today do not have those skills. They don't. Out of all my friends, I know two other women. I'm 42 years old, guys. 2 other women that know how to bake, that know how to sew. I'm talking about from scratch. Bake, cook from scratch, sew from scratch. And I'm not talking just sew on a sewing machine, like, that know how to clean, like properly. I don't know women that have these life skills today, because once upon a time, decades ago, they used to have 4-H, and I think they still have it. They had like home ec. I don't really think they do that stuff anymore. So back to like men choosing these young girls. At least with a single mother, you understand that she has the capacity in her pretty brain to commit to something. She committed to 9 months of carrying a child. Do you know what it's like to be pregnant? You don't. You start to grow a life inside of you. Your body expands. It hurts all the time. Not all the time, but like your organs start pressing in on you. You feel like you need to pee every 2 minutes. It's just uncomfortable. It's unpleasant. And labor is not fun. Is it possible? Yes. It's not fun. Breastfeeding is not fun either. Your nipples hurt. They crack. They bleed. Some women get infections. I see why women don't last a month or 2, because it sucks. But it's what we do as women. We give life. We create life. We give life. We birth life. We nurture life. It's not an easy job. Now, do I also feel that there's some women who possibly should not be doing that? Absolutely. But my whole point is we need to be a little more egalitarian in how we are tossing the blame on single mothers. I have been in, 2 serious relationships since I gave birth. 2 serious. Have I dated a little bit? Yes. Have I gone on a date here and there, had a dinner when I had a free moment, or when I had, family in town or people to watch my son? Sure. I've gone on dates. I'd be lying if I said I didn't. But I've had 2 serious relationships since my son was born. My son just turned 9. One is a very famous neuropsychologist, PhD. If you don't know what neuropsychologist is, I can't help you. Actually, I can. It is psychologist at the level of the brain. They basically study how the brain works, how the brain responds to information, to words, to emotions, and they reprogram your brain to function in a way that doesn't F you. Because if you know anything about the brain, our brain is designed to keep us alive, just to survive. It's not designed to make us happy. No, it's not. It's our job to do that. And let me tell you, as someone who suffered from PTSD, from postpartum depression, from anxiety, because I didn't have the greatest life, it's a work in progress to keep your mental health in check, which is why I fell in love with yoga. I fell in love with Tantra, all the stuff. Okay. So he is a PhD neuropsychologist, very famous. He's been on Oprah, the doctors, all the 9. He's very well perspective in his field. He's on Tony Robbins' stage, almost as much as Tony. So if you've ever done his work, you know who I'm talking about. And he's 30 years my senior. That was my first guy I dated. Now, I almost said his name. I loved him deeply and still do. He was like a father to me, a father I never had, a mentor. He taught me about business. He taught me about stuff about how to overcome my anxiety, my fears. He had a son as well. He was biracial. I still speak to him. I care tremendously about him, but our values didn't align because I plan to have more children and he is 70 and, as you can imagine, does not want any more children. My second person that I dated in 9 years is 25 when I met him. He was 15 years younger than I was, okay? And that relationship was obviously very intense, a lot of love. We had a lot of fun together. We got along well. There was nothing wrong. The fact was he was 25 and his pocket, his resources, and his EQ was just not up to par with where I was. And it was a gamble for me to stick around and wait for him to get to where I was or to pass him on to the younger girls. Good luck to them, or to him rather, and say, I'm going to find someone a little bit more age appropriate. Not who's 70 and not who's 25. Well, he was 63 when I met him. So not who's, he's 70 now and not who's 28 now. I needed someone right in the middle. My point is, I can tell you and I promise you, if you message either one of these men, and if you're smart enough to figure out who they are, I dare you to message them and say, tell me about Jennelle. Tell me about Shakti. How was she for you? How did she show up as a partner? And you will get freaking glowing reviews. Glowing reviews. Yes, did we have problems? Every couple has problems. Yes, did we have fights sometimes? Of course. But if you ask them, how was she as a human, as a spouse, as a girlfriend? How did she show up? They're going to tell you amazing things. In fact, to quote my last partner, he said, you are the most nurturing woman on the planet, even over my grandmother who has passed. Okay, so with that being said, we have these men who, let's just be honest, are not getting women, being told by men, other men who aren't getting women, some of them are married, some of them aren't, who are making money on YouTube, who are telling men to pass up on single mothers because they're tainted. Not mentioning any responsibility of of the fathers of who made those single mothers, and just saying, X them out, they are trash, they are garbage, when these men probably couldn't get half of the mothers that would actually consider them. Can we just talk about that for a moment? All right, so I'm sorry, I keep moving things around, guys. We're going through a little bit of a crazy whirlwind here. So my only problem is, do I think that a single mother is the best option for every man in the world? No, I'm not saying that at all. But I'm also not saying that single mothers should be avoided like the plague. That is just simply a farce. It is untruth. A lot of these single mothers who have come from good homes, or maybe like myself, didn't come from good homes, but just have a loving energy, have a giving energy, want to serve their partner, want to create a family, are amazing mothers. They just might be a good fit. They might be. They also might not be. Now, what do you get with a single mother? Yes, you get some baggage, but let's just look at other women. You get other baggage with them too, and sometimes a lot more. As I said, coming back to the commitment piece, at least with single mothers, you know that they've committed to the process of motherhood and raising a child. And so you know that she's capable of doing it. And you know that she's probably good at it. And you know that if she can take care of a child, you know that she can definitely take care of you. That is something that you cannot say for a plethora of women today, single women today, that are on the dating place, in the dating world. I actually do feel sorry for men today. I really do. Not because, oh, men can't take care of themselves, because they can. I feel sorry that the caliber of women is in the garbage. That women today care more about how much money they make and how good they look than working on their insides, meaning working on building anything other than their physicalities and their education and their like monetary value. Like, what about their nurturing capabilities? What about their mothering capabilities? What about keeping a good house and home? What about just being there for your partner? What about, you know, like serving, wanting to serve a man? Like, these things are just almost unheard of today. All the pressure is on men to provide, 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 provide. Show it. A good date, it has to be this. You have to make six figures. You have to be 66666. All the sixes, right? Listen, I'm telling you, I'm not unfair. I hear men's cry for better women, better feminine, nurturing, receptive, willing and sensitive to men's sexual desires and needs, because we know that men cannot live without sex. They just cannot, right? And so I hear that. But on the other token, rather, I also see that there's women that are being passed over and left on the table just because they have children. And that, my friend, is not fair, because you have to go back and say, where is the father? Where is he? Why is he not here? And you have to stop saying it's something the woman did. No, first of all, there is a plethora of reasons of why the father is not there. For instance, reason numero uno, perhaps it was how do I say this on YouTube? Not by choice that she got pregnant, if you get the drift. It was an act of that word that I'm not going to say. And she chose to keep the baby because she does not believe in taking the baby's, that procedure. I really don't know what I can say. She doesn't believe in that. And she feels that even though this was the most traumatic thing that happened to her, that she wants to be the divine feminine essence, Shakti mothering energy, and bring this child into the world. So you're telling me that that woman is garbage. That woman is trash for doing the most selfless thing in the world, other than just being a mother, as being a mother when you didn't want to be a mother. In fact, I think that's the most dangerous thing on the planet, is that men had the capability to force women to become mothers if they don't want to, meaning it wasn't two consensual adults, right? So this woman is choosing to keep the child, but now she's been blacklisted from high value men. Are you freaking kidding me? Like, this is just insanity here. Okay. And we know, first of all, okay, I'm gonna give you two really extreme examples of all these red pill men saying, these women can't get married, they can't this and that. Once and I'm not advocating for corn stars or anything like that, but listen, there is someone out there for everyone. If you think about Tito Ortiz, who's one of the best UFC fighters on the planet, I think. I don't know. I'm sure there's so many better people. I don't really know. I don't keep up with UFC anymore. But he is one of the most well-known UFC fighters, or was in my era, okay? Tito Ortiz married Jenna Jameson, correct? Like the most popular corn star ever. Ever. So there you have it. And then they got divorced. Obviously, she was having some problems. She got married again, being a single mother with her history, to a very successful businessman. She was a single mother. Do I do yoga on here? Sometimes I do, actually, yeah. And that's one example. All right, so I know that was just like an off, but I'm just telling you the extremes of like what they're poisoning you guys. They're telling you what is trending and what's going to get the most views and what all the et cetera, and what like the extremes, because it sells better. It gets them more. But like, you guys are blanketing all these single mothers off of just, yes, some statistics, but also just some strong opinions. What about mental health? Let's talk about that. We talked about the worst thing that could happen to a woman. Let's talk about mental health of the father. What if there was some extreme mental health challenges, and you can say you know someone, but you don't always know them, and a person can hide their mental health challenges? Excuse me. So what if a person, a man and a woman get together, they have a baby, in wedlock, out of wedlock, I don't care what it is. And this person, this man has mental health issues and cannot take care of the child. So the woman says, okay, well, I'll take care of the child because you can't, clearly. Your mental faculties are not functioning. They're not firing on all cylinders. I got you, boo. But yet she is also marked as the woman that you should not date, because she not only is being the selfless mother, but she's also taking on the role of a man because he cannot take on that role. And we know how prevalent mental health challenges are today. So I just gave you a few examples, just a few examples of why you can't make these outlandish statements about single mothers. It's just simply not sound. It's not a sound argument, because if you want to nail someone to the cross, the single mother, you have to nail the father up there as well. It is just unjust, simply unjust, to nail only the mother and not the father. You need to have a real conversation with the mother and find out as much as you can, if you're dating a single mother, what really happened. And you guys that think, oh, she did that, like, nobody is perfect, bro. I'm sure your relationship history is messy too. Now, I want to close with one comment that this one guy said, who I actually, Anton Daniels, did I say his name right? Oh God, he's gonna kill me. Who's actually recorded content with me before. I like him, fine man, met his wife, very respectful, very successful, the epitome of like a married couple who've been together for a long time, have a child, have a business, she supports him, travel. I love it, I love them, I think they're great. However, respectfully, Anton, I do not agree with your latest, with one of your most recent videos. You were going on and on about how you came from a two single parent household, or two family household, and your parents were married, and then you and your wife have been married for 20 years, and then you have a child, and da 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 da. And that is great for you. Praise God. Hallelujah. I am so happy for you. But there's some of us who did not have that lot in life. We came from split homes. We came from homes where we didn't have families, where we were in the foster care system, like I was. Some of us did not get that luxury, that privilege, but you know what? It made our life more interesting. And so my humble, respectful argument to your video on the single moms and how we have to break that cycle is, we break the cycle when we stop the stigma. We break the cycle when we stop the stigma. If you know anything about energy, and I do, I'm a sexual energy master. I'm also a Reiki master. Energy is contagious. It spreads. This sounds like I'm talking like about an STI or something. So if you're talking about this shame that people feel because they're a single mom, because they're a single dad, because they've been told on YouTube and every social media platform that there's something wrong with them because they chose to keep their child and raise their child despite the fact that a man is not by their side. If you breed shame in young single mothers and single fathers, you create more shame. So if a single mother is willing and she checks the boxes, yes, she might have had something that happened, whether it was a marriage that went south. It happens. 50% of them happen, okay? Or that she never was married, but she kept the child. She wanted to do the right thing. It doesn't matter. Find the story, get the facts, do a little recon, ask. You guys need to think more critically. I'm telling you, as God is my witness, the only reason I am here is because I sometimes know how to use this side of my brain, my left brain. I don't know how to use it very often. I will be honest with you on that one, but I know how to use it in situations like this. I know how to look at a man and see his pros and see his cons. And if he's been married, that doesn't mean I write him off. This message is for you too, single women. There is nothing wrong with a man who's been married and has a child. In fact, it means that he can commit to you. He's already proven that he can do it once, so he can probably do it again. All right? So the more that we perpetuate, oh, I came from a good family and two parents and don't marry. You were just shaming the people who didn't happen to have that luxury and making it seem like it's impossible for them to have a two-parent household. And that is not okay. Yes, don't be an idiot. Yes, don't date someone who's just using you for resources and isn't adding any value to your life, isn't showing up as Shakti, isn't being feminine, isn't being gracious, isn't helping out at the house, isn't taking care of the kids, isn't being whatever it is you ask of her to be for your kids if you have children. Like, if she's not doing those things, don't be an idiot. Use your left brain and tell her, thank you, no thank you. But if she is being all those things, and the worst thing you can find about her is that she has a child, again, ask the question, where's the father? And choose her. Like, this is just simple math, and I suck at math, y'all. Thank you, Carlos. I feel very passionate about this. I just, like, I'm going through this whole, like, metamorphosis of, like, who do I want to be? I'm this tantric sex therapist, but I can't really put that content out because it always gets taken down, and I don't want to be like every other person and talking about celebrities, but maybe that's the only thing that'll get me in the algos. So it's like, what do I want to do? I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about, and I care zero what Destiny or any of his minions say about me, because you know what? If you have the opportunity to meet me at a retreat or an in-person session or in the Tony world, or some people who see me on the street or in the grocery store, I guarantee you I will greatly affect your life. My energy, my presence, my graciousness, my femininity. I will leave a positive impact on your life. And so, with that being said, yes. And you know what? On the next live, you need to speak to single mom to give men a chance to break through. What do you mean exactly? Can you explain that to me? Your name is hilarious, by the way. You're right. A woman like a single or married. If she betray you once, it will happen again. Best bet is to cut ties and move on. You're right. A woman like that single. Yeah, so here's the thing. You have to start seeing people for people without the labels. Does that make sense? I think my videographer's here. Oh, he's coming. Sorry. Sorry, guys at home. I'm just, I have a shoot for some headshots. So anyways, okay. So yes, I will do the next one on that. I think we need to flip it the other way as well. I just get tired of seeing these women, say, oh, he's married, he has children, or he was married, he's no good. It's like, we have to stop shaming, single mom and single dad shaming people. Look at people for people. Whether she's a single mom or single, her character is hers, with or without a baby. Yes, a baby changes you, but I promise you, start viewing the person for the person. Because if you really want to think about me, you wouldn't be on my channel if you judged me for being, you know, like an ex-stripper, and for being, you know, like everything that I've experienced in my life. Like, you wouldn't be on my channel if you just judged me for that. No, you're judging me for the choices I made to turn around some shitty circumstances that I had in my life that I decided I wasn't going to be a victim to. Rather, I was going to take those unique, traumatic, very colorful experiences and make fucking lemonade out of them, and make sure it's organic and only use stevia or a low glycemic sweetener. There you go, tantric lovers. I'm gonna let you go because this has been no labels, be genuine. I love that. This has been super fun. I will be back. I'm normally Tuesday, Sunday, but tomorrow's Mother's Day, and I quite frankly just don't want to work tomorrow. I want to relax, chill with my son, and have a beautiful, beautiful day. Thank you guys, all of you, for commenting. Please, when this goes live, if you remember, I know you're busy and I hope you do something special for your mom. Please leave a comment. Please like this and share this. I'm desperately trying to get back in the algos to get my free content out there for you guys, because this is the only place I do free content. If you want more deep, juicy content that on the stuff I can't cover, the tantric sex, the Kama Sutra, then you got to click my Patreon, y'all. It's the only place I'm doing anything like that. I so appreciate all your energy and love. I felt it. Energy is contagious, even through the phone. Yeah, okay, there you go. And last but not least, for all you viewers or listeners on Apple and Spotify, Ephraim Colbert says, I've dated single moms. It was nice. They stick to plans and are pretty chill. Happy Mother's Day to Fat, or thank you guys to all of my comments, Fat, the Rue, and Carlos, and more, and Stu, and Alex, and and Brandon. I appreciate all you. Please make sure to like this, share it. Make sure that you are living with intimacy and passion in your life. It's the only way to experience relationships. I'll see you soon. Bye.